What scared the absolute shit out of you? Went for a day-night hike through the bush with some mates. One of us got really sick, and we needed to get to a road quickly to get him home. Found a massive field, and figured we'd cross it, hoping that would lead to a road. The field was empty, but it had deer's fences up, so we knew there were some kind of large animals living there. Anyway, my friend was throwing up a lot, so we got moving across the field. There was a hill in the middle of the field, so we couldn't see the other side. Lo and behold, from behind the hill, came two massive stags, horns and all. Those cuz are incredibly menacing with their huge antlers and be insanely quick. We bolted for the nearest fence. Myself and a buddy lifted the sick guy over the fence, and then quickly followed suit. Not till after we cleared the fence did we all, including the deer, look at each other with a what the foo expression on our faces. We continued on, and found a road. Got picked up, and got out of there. I saw the film The Ring when I was about 13, and I swear, that girl haunted my nightmares for years after. Like I still can't and won't watch the video even in the film. I have to hide behind my fingers just in case. Somehow, this came up with my college roommates, who all thought it was the funniest thing, that I was still so scared of her as an adult. So one day, I'm casually working at an assignment, and I pop out to the loo on the floor above. I come back to my room and continue working for another 2 to 3 hours. I'm pretty tired and it's gotten dark out. I save up and close the document and holy mother of, I nearly threw the damn laptop across the room. One of the roommates had snuck in during my loo break and changed my desktop background to a close-up of the girl's face and then casually maximized the Word doc back up as if nothing had changed, left, and waited. I'm still holding a grudge. My husband, at the time 2-year-old son, and I were staying with friends. In the middle of the night, the boyfriend slowly cracks our door open and creepily stares for a bit, then says, "Are you sleeping?" in this really weird "Here's Johnny" kind of voice. I'm awake and so scared I barely breath. Then he says good same voice and really drawn out like goo, then he slowly closes the door. TF, what reason could he have for this? Why? 2 ideas come to my mind. 1. Sleepwalking. 2. He's a creepy foo. Back when I was in the army, I was a crew chief on helicopters. There are a few stories from that time that absolutely terrify me, but the worst was stateside. 3 smaller helicopters in front. We were in the rear because we were faster. We were formed up in a staggered line, basically a zigzag, crossing over a mountain range, so pretty high up, probably 9k feet or so. There's a few hundred feet or so between the aircraft. It was the end of a long day, and the 3 other guys with me are all just kinda quiet and zoned out. The formation isn't super strict, so it's like a slinky, expanding and contracting all the time. I'm sitting on the right side, looking out to the mountains, almost dozing off. Foo. I look up front, and out of the cockpit, and metal fills my vision. There's just enough time to see the open mouth, and we're close enough that I clearly saw the gold tooth of my screaming counterpart in the aircraft ahead of us. This is way too close. We were now slightly lower than them, and our rotors were below us. One wrong movement, and our rotors would have shredded each other. Now if there are 2 pilots in an aircraft, you have what's called a pilot in command, who is usually the most experienced and is overseeing and coaching the junior pilot. In this instance, the junior pilot was in control of the aircraft, and I guess he wasn't paying attention. An updraft from the mountain disturbed the helicopter in front of us, slowing it down dramatically. He should have been expecting this on a mountain range. He was kind of an IDO. The senior pilot grabs the controls and simultaneously drops the collective power elevation control and yanks the stick as hard as he can to the right so violently that we almost went upside down in an effort to turn us away. That man saved a lot of lives that day. If he had been a millisecond slower to respond, we would have hit that aircraft, and I'm not sure anyone would have realized what happened. I still can't believe how fast that happened, and I have nightmares years later. TL. Doctor, helicopters fast, Pilot sleepy. Didn't react to change in airspeed information flight. Bad at Pisces from Mississippi. Saves 8+ lives by not hesitating and knowing exactly what to do. Explaining that the safe was on a 10-minute time delay to the man with an R15 pointed at the back of my head who told me I had 10 seconds to open the safe before he killed me. When I told him there was nothing I could do to open it faster, he counted down from 10 and then poked me in the back of the head with the rifle and started hysterically laughing while his 3 friends, who had everyone on my shift on their knees with guns pointed at them, started to laugh along with him. The first exposure that I ever had to the horror genre was when a friend of mine told me that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was real and that he, who we incorrectly referred to as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, was real and an active serial killer. Prior to that, I had not ever experienced horror in my life. I didn't sleep for weeks, my dude. Now I'm an avid horror fan, though. Leatherface from the original movie still puts the fear of God into me to this day. He's absolutely terrifying. Me and my friends were hanging out at the local park at 10 o'clock at night. We were walking around the park when we noticed some tall dark shadow was following us. Whenever we tried to talk to him or chase after him, he would go around a corner when he was a few feet away from us and disappear, then would always reappear right behind. We also saw a black van pull up at the park, but saw no one leave or enter the van for the 2 hours it was there. It's been nearly 10 years and we never figured out who it was or what they were trying to do, but we think it was a group of kidnappers. When I was growing up, my father flew small planes and would take me up in them frequently. I guess I had forgotten to close the door correctly because mid-flight I leaned on it and it opened. Not very much, but enough that I slid a little out. The look on my dad's face was terror I've never seen before. 30 years later, every time I think about it I get anxious. Were you wearing a seatbelt, or could you have actually fallen out? I was definitely wearing a seatbelt, and with the wind speed on the door it would have been pretty difficult to get the door open far enough, but as a 10-year-old looking over and seeing the ground under me, I was terrified. Went to get drive-through at 2 AM before studying for an exam. Pulled up to the window and had just paid and noticed the guy I'd handed the cash to suddenly looked up startled. Look over and there is a guy covered in blood running up to my car. He got to the front of my car and slammed his hands down on the hood of my car and had a gun tucked into his waistband. I reversed the foo out there and drove as fast as I could back to my BF's house where he called the police. Turns out the blood had been the guy's. He'd been shot in the gut during a drug deal gone wrong. Don't know how he still managed to run up to my car. BF said washing the bloody handprints off my car was very surreal. Holy shit, dude, I can't even imagine how I'd react. Leaving my flat. I have anxiety and just the thought of leaving makes me puke. I have to psych myself up to open my front door and take the trash out. You have to get out. No choice. Don't be like me and spend 4 years of your 20s mentally locking yourself in the house. I missed so much because of agoraphobia, and it took too long to discover that exposure is the only thing that works. Keep taking one more step a day. Eventually you'll normalize being outside again, but the years missed you'll never get back. Please message me if you would like to talk more. It's an awful prison to be in. I've been there. I do get out, but at silly times like 3 AM. I appreciate your response. Agoraphobia must be like living in a nightmare. I can empathize. I stayed in for 2 years. I still hate going out, but I force myself eventually. It sounds like you are living with agoraphobia yourself. Or am I misunderstanding? These are the exact symptoms and side effects. Do you also have panic disorder? Sorry if I'm being too nosy. I just feel like there aren't a lot of positive ending stories out there, and I want people who have this awful condition to know that it's not forever and you can get back into daily life. I still get spikes of panic when I travel too far from home, more than 45 minutes away or so, but it's gotten so much better. I wish the same for you. Airplanes. Does my fear make sense? Perhaps not, but I can't seem to just accept that they are the safest traveling option. Whenever I have to travel, and there are planes involved, I start getting really nervous, like months before, until the moment I'm way up in the clouds and the beauty of it all stuns me, but only then. It makes even less sense if I told you guys that I've flown my whole life since I was a baby. Have absolutely no idea where the fear came and when did it start. TBH, if you're already scared of flying, don't follow my advice, but plane crashes and why they happened always fascinated me when I was younger. Knowing what can happen and stuff actually probably helped any fear I had, because I knew even if like one engine on a large plane exploded, the plane can fly on the other engine for a very long time. Thanks for listening to Reddward. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell for more videos. Let us know in comments what you think. Bye.